amigos de Warner Channel, soy Gaby y no van a creer en dónde estoy. Estoy en el Warner Bros. Studio Tour en Londres, donde vine a descubrir la magia detrás de la próxima película Animales Fantásticos, los secretos de Dumbledore. Estoy aquí para conversar con todo el elenco y descubrir qué nos depara esta nueva aventura. ¿Me acompañan?
If you listen carefully enough, the past whispers to you.
Esto es Inside Warner, Animales Fantásticos, los secretos de Dumbledore.
The world as we know it is coming undone. Grindelwald is pulling it apart with hate. If we're to defeat him, you'll have to trust me.
Y para esta aventura mágica, obviamente no podía estar sola, así que voy a llamar a mi amiga, la presentadora de Warner Channel Brasil, Valentina Pulgarín. Aquí.
This is, I think, the most difficult interview I have to do because I have to deliver a job interviewing you, but I have to be cool about being in Dumbledore's office. It's so hard.
Take it all in before we start. Sorting hats up there.
Oh my God.
But you know what? Making these films, you have to give up attempting to be cool because you're constantly in awe with your jaw dropped.
I want to know, what do you think is what Newt gets from, magical creatures that he might not get from other wizards?
Oh, I think that judgment is probably the thing. He doesn't get judged by his creatures.
The wonderful thing about a character like Newt Scamander is he's all of us. He is a hero.
This is the team that's going to take down the most dangerous wizard in over a century.
He has eccentricities that cause him in his everyday life to be judged, and the creatures don't do that. They see him for who he is.
Mr. Kowalski, we need you.
I said I want an out and I want out.
You do know I'm a witch, right?
Jessica, I wanna ask you, you're kind of the new kid in town. Yeah. Not really new, but sort of.
No, definitely.
What do you think is what she brings to the table of this amazing team of wizards?
I think Eulalie brings a lot of heart. She's a really brilliant witch. She's a charms professor at the North American School of Ilvermorny. And she's known Dumbledore for a long time. And I think she's really good at getting done what needs to be done. And I think she's really reliable and dependable, especially in this film. And I think Dumbledore needs her to help her move against Grindelwald, the worst ex ever.
I agree, and I think the magic word here is actually, without her in that gang, they would go nowhere.
Thank you.
They are literally, they would run around the doors, not know which one to open, and have second thoughts, and somebody would be sad because of something else. She cuts through it, and she's like, we gotta fix it.
Thank you. It's
She's
the
smart.
Hermione effect. You know, I feel like Hermione carried the boys on her back a lot of the time.
We do have Hogwarts back in this movie. How was it to shoot that part of the movie?
I think the craziest thing was seeing the kids in their wizarding robes, and that kind of made me a little teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Like, it was really cute. It was one of those kind of like pinch me moments, and then I just remembered I had lines. So I just kind of got to wave my wand, and the guy would fall from the second floor down to the ground, and it would just be amazing.
You have the coolest job, you know
Absolutely.
that.
It was the coolest job. I was like, holy smokes, I'm getting paid to do this? That's awesome.
But you do come across really cool, though. You don't look like a
Thank you.
fangirl.
I appreciate that.
We're here to see Albus Dumbledore.
That would be my brother.
I love that in this movie we have great brothers and sisters relations.
Yes.
So for Dumbledore, how do you think that Aberforth in it changed him?
Well, sadly, I think that Aberforth is symbolic of a lot of regret. There's a certain stubbornness also, a sort of fraternal stubbornness where neither will fully admit that the other has done something wrong, but it just hangs rather distastefully in the air.
And for you, Eddie, how do you think your relation with Callum changed for this?
Well, I adore Callum, firstly. Callum and I grew up randomly about 2 minutes from each other. We didn't know each other, but we had quite a lot of shared experience. I love how their relationship changes in this movie, because he's like the extrovert, he's this kind of schoolboy hero. Newt is the antithesis of that. Dumbledore always, he has the obvious thing that people are trying to achieve, and then he's doing something more subtle and deeper, which is forcing these two to go out into the world and find each other. Yeah. And I love doing that.
It has always been obvious, I'm a Potterhead, obviously, and that, Dumbledore always sends people in these missions. And people tend to judge him because he stays at his office. I want to know if there's any mission he has sent people to that you wish you could have been a part of.
Personally, I'm someone who loves to be out and about, so I would have gone on all of them. Happily.
And then at moments in this film, he just pitches up out of nowhere, and I'm like, all right, mate, could have been here all along.
It seems like Grindelwald and Dumbledore kind of have the same purpose in the beginning, but what makes him the villain?
Yeah, this is a good question. I keep asking that question myself. Listen, we just established that I'm quite manipulative in the sense I can smell people's weaknesses and fear, and I can help them out. While that's happening, I can whisper something in their ears. Dumbledore uses the exact same method.
What makes Dumbledore a hero?
And Grindelwald not, you mean?
I didn't say that, but yeah.
I think the simple answer is Dumbledore's empathy and embrace of the Muggle world. It's that simple. And I think one thing we should all feel, or at least take the responsibility for, is looking after the less powerful, looking after people who are less fortunate. And in this regard, Muggles and wizards and witches have a sort of a distance between them. And rather than seeing them as weak or lesser, he sees them as equals.
We both want to make the world a better place, so where's the conflict here, right?
I'm almost rooting for him, but I'm not gonna say
I know, he gets to you.
A little bit.
I know. I've been doing interviews with him for the last couple of days, and I'm starting to be like, am I like...
Yeah, in the
into
beginning, this chair
bad
was all the way
culture?
over there. It's just moving it
Yeah,
closer.
slowly but surely, like, am I just getting into bad culture right now?
Yeah.
Kinda.
This thing I'm feeling in my belly.
Absolutely.
Why do you think he has so many followers?
I guess it's like the real world. Honesty can get you a long way, and I think he has a certain amount of honesty. And the thing that he's not honest about, he just has to keep that to himself for a while.
Well, I think the fans are going to really take a look to the fact that Grindelwald is using the Elder Wand here, and that's a big deal for the fans. What do you think that Elder Wand means to Grindelwald?
It's his property. It belongs to his family. It's his. It is probably the most powerful wand of them all. It also takes a very powerful wizard to control it, right?
Exactly.
So it goes hand in hand. To me, it means a lot in the sense that I took a photo of it right away and sent it to my daughter. And
No way!
She was literally screaming on the other side of the world.
I really love the slow motion scenes because I felt that it gave me the chance to really see the details of this magical world that I love.
It's lovely when you stop a moment in time to study a face.
Yes.
Especially when it's about emotion rather than action.
Yeah.
Because often you slow down moments to show a building blowing up. But if you're stopping the moment to sort of feel two human beings deal with each other's love for each other or loss, then it becomes even more exciting.
I was talking with David. I like to say that to everyone
Just with
now,
D.
you know. Oh, I was there
Talking
with my
with
friend
DY.
David. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know him already, like in the Warner Bros. Studios in London. I don't know.
You've never met him.
Yeah. And then David and I were talking about the slow motion scenes because we have a few. So how different it was to do your stunts and all these action scenes, but with slow motion also.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of slow motion training I focused on. The thing about that scene is that actually it was filmed in real time and I'm actually just moving in slow motion.
No way. No way, you're lying to me. I was totally falling for it,
You were
okay?
like, absolutely. And then I said, I can't stop, I won't stop. But what was cool about it is they would show me what it looked like in between takes. So I got to adjust and like, sometimes I would try to relax my face because in slow-mo, like that wasn't looking as good as, you know, maybe it should have.
You can't really prepare for those other than the normal way.
Yeah.
And hope.
The camera does the work, right?
Yeah, camera does all the work.
Like Jude wasn't doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
No any faces.
Although
like.
you could. I tried and it really didn't work.
We know it's going to be slow-mo, so we have to do it real speed. But there's a fraction of us that goes like that.
Yep.
Just becomes like cake on cake, and we have to stop ourselves doing it because then it becomes ultra slow, right?
I want to know, what do you think is what makes Jacob magical in this magical world?
Jacob somehow survived World War I, so he's lucky. He's got a tremendous amount of luck, and he's got a huge heart, like oversized. I think that love is really what makes him special.
How different do you think Queenie's life would be if she could actually see herself the way Jacob sees her?
I think if we could see ourselves the way the people that love us see us, the world would be a different place. It's a really important metaphor, I think, especially for young women, but I think for young men as well. Like, when there's a part of yourself that you just can't engage with or can't accept, especially something as powerful as what she's got, that it can be used against you, or your life can be really muddled by that. And like all of our journeys really throughout life is to learn how to love and accept ourselves and then emanate that love back out.
A muggle. Dumbledore asked that I give you something, Jacob.
Are you kidding me right now?
Dan, would you like to find out if Jacob maybe have some wizard blood in his family?
Yeah. You can't make pastries that good
Yeah,
without having a little bit of...
There's all different kinds of magic.
That's magical.
There's a character named Quentin Kowalski who was a Quidditch player.
Okay.
He's got my last name.
Oh.
He's got the male version of your first name. It's very odd. He must... I mean...
We have a theory here.
Despite these films being called Fantastic Beasts, they are, as endearing as possible. So I wanted to ask you from the storytelling point of view and the director's point of view, what has been the key to keep them as human as possible?
I never feel that these are fantasy films. They feel like real films about real people, but in an extraordinarily magical world, and I think that's crucial. We showed the film a couple of weeks ago to a very small audience, including this very young child. We were all very nervous because he was one of the very first people to see the finished film. We literally finished it that weekend. Wow. So it was like, okay, let's just show it to this young man. And he watched it and he was very quiet watching it all the way through. And at the end, when the lights went up, we said, Harper, what did you think? And we were all really sort of nervous. And Harper turned around and he looked at us all and he said, it's human. And we all went, okay, that's good.
I'm 35 years old and I was in tears after watching this film, so
good.
I guess that's a good sign, right?
Yeah, that's a good sign.
What do you think in the years to come is going to become like your fondest memory about shooting this movie?
Well, for me, I think it was just going back to work. It was also one of the first times for me stepping into a second film with a familiar group. So there was a familial bond and excitement, and obviously the opportunity to really delve into Dumbledore's past. But for me, it was working with you guys.
For me, it was all of those things. plus the set. There was this one set in China that was the biggest, most dramatic set I've ever seen. It was just the kid in me was like, wow, you get to make movies on a set that is as extreme and extraordinary as that. No imagination required.
For me, I was pregnant during this film, and so my baby is in all of the scenes, even though it was, from the very, very early on. But that's really special.
Is your baby in the credits?
Should be.
What do you think it will be like your fondest memory about shooting this movie?
Don't know yet. Just joining this world of J.K. Rowling's, it's a masterpiece. I mean, she wrote it for kids that was 6, 7, and then 9, then 12, so that everybody grew up with it. It went hand in hand with the people watching, right? So just being part of that is magical.
I think the fact that we made this movie in a pandemic.
Yeah.
I know it's a crazy thing to hold on to.
So many challenges.
Yeah, so many challenges, but also the fact that we were coming together when the world was closing down. And so we felt very privileged and we felt very grateful.
What else do you think people were bringing differently to the set because of that situation?
The emotion of knowing that they couldn't see the people they loved.
Oh my God, yes.
At the end of the movie, Dumbledore is stood in the snow looking outside at people inside. That moment and the way I choreographed it was inspired by what we were all going through. We weren't able to see people we loved. When I was shooting that, I got very emotional.
My teacher started reading us these books when I was in the 3rd grade, and I'll never forget being able to live in London, shoot where they shot the Harry Potter films, wear these beautiful costumes from Colleen Atwood, where it's like this wizarding purple tweed, just beautiful custom suit, and have this wand, that was given to me in a briefcase that, I sort of helped design. I was very lucky to be able to do that, and so I'll never forget, and so I hope people have a lot of fun watching it too.
If you ever need a Mexican muggle in the back, I'm available.
Awesome.
We don't need any muggles.
There's nothing you can do to stop me.
La batalla contra Grindelwald está a punto de comenzar, así que tienes que traer tu mejor juego y preparar tu varita para ayudar a Dumbledore y este grupo de magos en Animales Fantásticos, Los Secretos de Dumbledore. No te pierdas ningún detalle de esta cinta en las redes sociales de Warner Channel LA. Yo soy Gaby Cam, esto fue Inside Warner, Animales Fantásticos, Los Secretos de Dumbledore. Me voy a seguir disfrutando de este lugar. Adiós.
Things are not quite what they appear.